depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, I am here to show you a couple of Urshifu V. And I know at this stage there are probably a bunch of you going, but Wassy? You've already shown us a couple of Urshifu V? You've already shown us an Urshifu V Rapid Strike, an Urshifu V Single Strike, and the corresponding VMAXs for each of them. Why, yes, I have. But it turns out those are not the only Urshifu that we've got. Apparently more Urshifu are coming. Now these are actually coming in not the set proper. These are coming in the premium trainer boxes over in Japan. So I honestly don't know what the deal is in terms of how we're going to get these over here. Likely they are going to be appearing as promo cards, though we cannot guarantee one way or the other. There we go. They might just be in the set and we just get extra Urshifu. Because, you can never have enough Urshifu. So what we need to do is take a look at them, and of course we need to compare them to the Urshifu we've already got and see if they're any better. So, let's look at Urshifu V number 5 and 6. We'll start with Rapid Strike, because I am very much on Team Rapid Strike, and what we've got here is 220 HP, which is pretty high as far as it goes. We've got a retreat cost of 2, which means free retreat with Air Balloon, but it also means free retreat with that Water Tower card I showed you the other day. That's the one that reduces the retreat cost of Rapid Strike Pokemon by 2, so that's pretty gosh darn good. Same weakness to Psychic as we would expect. That means you got weakness to Mewtwo and Mew, which is a very good, widely played Pokemon around at the moment, which is honestly not ideal. And you are a fighting type, so we got Martial Arts Dojo to do a bit of extra damage. Karate Belt to reduce your attack cost if you are a little bit behind on prizes. Things of that nature. More importantly, it means weakness on stuff like Pikachu and Zekrom, and like Eternatus, that are very, very good decks right now. I mean, Pikachu and Zekrom was both the finalists of the Players' Cup too. That's pretty good. So, if we put it side by side with the other one, stats are identical. But what about the attacks? Well, the first attack, we have got 2 energy, 40 damage. Which is fine, it's not particularly good. But please do remember that we've got Rapid Strike Energy. And Rapid Strike Energy provides 2 energy, water/fighting, when attached to a Rapid Strike Pokemon. What that means is you can actually get this going, pay the attack cost in one go, but you're still talking about 40 damage. Now, if you're hitting for weakness, yay. Something like a Minchino's going to go down, and there's still people like me playing Minchino. But even something like Oranguru, which is a widely played Pokemon right now, it's got 120. So you're going to need to do an extra 20 damage. And it can be done. You can do it with Martial Arts Dojo and Vitality Band, but that's asking a lot to get a cheeky KO turn 1. Doable, absolutely doable, but I prefer the other one. The first attack on the other Rapid Strike Urshifu does 30 damage and lets you switch to the bench. And I like switching to the bench because it means that I can protect myself while I attach energy and VMAX. It means maybe I'm playing a couple of Lily's Pokédoll and I pop that in the active, which doesn't give up a prize. But there is a second attack here. Did I mention our translation comes from lovely Antoine Boulet? I should have done. We like Antoine. 2 fighting, also right, it's happened a couple of times, so let's say this clearly. Whenever I credit Antoine for a translation and it turns out I've made a boo-boo, so far 100% of the time, and I mean 100% of the time, it has been Antoine translating it perfectly and me misreading / making a mistake like a doofus. Second attack here, 2 fighting, 1 colourless energy, 90 damage, plus 20 to 2 of your opponent's benched Pokemon. And that's what I got from Google Translate, so clearly me and Google Translate got it going on. I like this a lot more. Now, don't get me wrong, the attack power isn't particularly high, but I like being able to do 20 damage to 2 of my opponent's bench Pokemon. And the fact is, if I'm hitting a fighting weakness, 90 is a pretty good place to start, because that means I'm hitting weakness on both Crobat V and Dedenne, and 90 damage means I will get a one-hit KO on both Crobat V and Dedenne, while doing 20 damage to each of 2 benched Pokemon. What that means is I can be taking cheeky prizes while setting up other Pokemon for KOs down the line. 20 damage ain't going to KO anything, but 20 damage absolutely is going to soften some Pokemon up, get a bit of damage on the field, ready for some attacks later. But this is probably a good time to remind ourselves about the Rapid Strike scroll that we looked at the other day. So do remember I showed you a video. Wait, have I showed you that video yet? I will have by the time this goes up. Seriously, so many cards being revealed. And that is a lovely scroll that gives you an attack that does 30 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. 30 damage to each of them. Very, very nice attack. Well, clearly, you are going to want to use this. Now, for what it's worth, it's essentially the same attack cost, which is absolutely huge. And it means that you can be spreading 30, and then transition into 90 to the active, 20 to each of 2 bench. For instance, a Scroll of Whirlpools is what it's called. It's not exactly the same attack cost. It's 1 fighting 2 colorless rather than 2 fighting 1 colorless. But then again, if you've got 2 fighting 1 colorless, then you've got 1 fighting 2 colorless. And I like this. I don't think it's phenomenal, but I do think it's a very cool card in terms of just giving you other options, other attacks that do other things. I like being able to take out some of those weaker Pokemon, and this will still work on, weaker Pokemon, setup Pokemon like Jirachi, for instance, as well. And I like being able to do that while doing a bit of damage to the bench, especially when I've got access to another attack, which is going to do some really good damage to the bench. The alternative with the other Rapid Strike Urshifu is just a flat 150 for the same attack cost. And I like this more, because 150 gets a 1-hit KO on Pikachu and Zekrom. It gets a 1-hit KO on Raichu and Alolan Raichu. It gets a 1-hit KO on Eternatus. And although it doesn't get a 1-hit KO on Eternatus VMAX, you are just 20 damage away from getting a 1-hit KO. So, Martial Arts Dojo and Vitality Band, or Martial Arts Dojo if you're behind on prizes, or soften it up with an earlier attack, or the scroll, or whatever, and then KO with this. So unfortunately, as cool as this is, and as nice as it is to have the options, and it is nice to have the options, I do think I prefer the set one. Stats are the same, but I honestly prefer both the attacks. I don't want to have to use a Rapid Strike Energy to attack turn 1 for 40 damage. I'd rather use a basic fighting to attack for 30 and switch to the bench getting out of harm's way. And as much as I like doing 20 to the bench, we've got the scroll that can do 30 to everything rather than 20 to 2. And because you're hitting such a good weakness, being able to do 150 damage and take those key KOs, it's too good to pass up. Sorry. But what about Single Strike Urshifu? There's a new one of those as well. So let's take a little bit of a gander, shall we? Now, if we look at this, it's got the exact same stats as the one from the set, which is the exact same stats as the Rapid Strike we just looked at. So we don't need to spend much time talking about it at all. Though do please bear in mind that it cannot use Tower of Water to give itself free retreat. Other than that, we've still got Air Balloon, we're still weak to Mewtwo and Mew, we're still hitting a phenomenal weakness. Now what we've got here is first attack, 30 damage. 1 energy, 30 damage. I like it. Now, you're not KOing very much. I mean, even the Minccino we mentioned earlier, the majority of people, unless they've got a really good reason otherwise, are going to be playing the 70 HP Minccino, so you're not going to be doing too much there. But do remember that you've got Single Strike Energy. And Single Strike Energy means that you can do an extra 20 damage. So if you use that, it's not 30 damage for a single energy, it's 50 damage for a single energy, and 50 damage for a single energy makes a big difference. Like a huge difference, like a gigantic difference. It's pretty gosh darned awesome. I know that the other Urshifu accelerates 2 energy from your deck, and accelerating from the deck is awesome. But the fact of the matter is here that I don't like attacks like this, and I've said this in many videos. I don't like attacks where the only thing you do is accelerate energy to the active Pokemon and then sit in the active ready to take a hit. Against something like Mewtwo and Mew, you're probably not going to survive. So what you really want to do is go to the bench and set up for a big attack later. Or even just get out of dodge. I don't like having an attack where all you do is accelerate energy, because we've talked about Houndoom that can accelerate energy in single strike decks. It's a basic Pokemon, so you can use Turbo Patch. There are options. I don't like the first attack on the Urshifu we looked at the other day. I'm not out and out in love with single energy 30 damage, or 50 a lot of the time, but I like it a whole heap more than the other one. Now, as for the second attack, we've got 4 fighting energy, which is a lot, but it does 180 damage and is not affected by resistance. Okay. This we can kind of get on board with, although do bear in mind it's rarely 180 damage, because of course I've shown you single strike energy. I can also show you M-Ball here, and M-Ball just lets you do an extra 30 damage. It also gives me an excuse to correct a silly mistake I made in one of yesterday's videos. I told you that Mustard worked like Maxis, which was, if it was the only card in your hand, you can play a Rapid Strike Pokemon from your discard to your bench and draw 5 cards. That was dumb. It plays it from the deck, which incidentally means it's better. Now, the video I did yesterday, all the analysis still holds true. My opinion of the card is still very, very high. It's still a 5-Wassy card, etc. The difference is I don't need to discard my M-Ball before I play this card. I can grab my M-Ball from the deck. And this is an example of a card where Antoine translated it perfectly, which, I mean, that's shocking, right? And I just misread it like a silly boy. Now, in my defense, there were a lot of cards revealed, and the other Mustard, the Rapid Strike, works like Archies and Maxis, which worked like the old Archies and Maxis, and we've seen this card a lot, and it's always worked the same way, but not in my defense. Antoine was super clear in the translation. I got it wrong, and it's 100% on me. But now I've corrected myself, and we can all go on being friends. Yay! And I love this attack, but it's 4 energy. The other Urshifu did 180 for free energy, and during your next turn, this Pokemon can't use the attack. The thing is, we've got Houndoom, and Houndoom makes all the difference here. Houndoom is a Stage 1 Pokemon, so in theory, if everything's going well, you're getting it rolling turn 2. So if I'm playing Single Strike Urshifu, turn 1, I attach an energy. Turn 2, I attach an energy, evolve into Houndoom, attach an energy with Houndoom, and I'm hitting 180 damage. I need 1 extra energy over the first 2 turns, but if I can evolve my Houndoom, and it's only a Stage 1, I will get that extra energy. Where does the 4th energy come from? At this stage, if I want to turn 280, I'm relying on hitting a heads-on Turbo Patch after discarding an energy. Or I'm relying on getting a second Houndoom. Getting 1 Stage 1 Houndoom and 1 energy attachment on the first 2 turns each, yes, that is an absolutely reliable thing that honestly we should expect to happen more often than not. Getting that with a second Houndoom or a heads-on Turbo Patch, now you're getting into kind of annoying, awkward territory. And for that reason, I don't like it as much. So with the Single Strike Urshifu, I'm torn. Rapid Strike, I go, yeah, I like this new one a lot less than the other one, we're good to go. But with a Single Strike, I can't make up my mind. Because I like the first attack a lot more I don't like the first attack on the set one, and I intend to almost never use it unless I'm desperate. But I don't like the second attack on this one. Now, I love that it goes through resistance rather than being turned off the following turn. Although, while we're here, I mean, Zacian can't attack 2 turns in a row. How often does that really affect Zacian? We've seen a million Pokemon with this effect over the years that can't attack 2 turns in a row. Volcanion, another prominent example. Buzzwole, another prominent example. These were all proper job top tier Pokemon. and none of them were even slightly slowed down by this. Okay, very occasionally, but very rarely. My point here is, I think I prefer the second attack on the set Urshifu. Even though you can't use it the following turn, even though it doesn't go through resistance, that 1 energy less, especially when you're talking free energy and Houndoom is a thing. So, honestly, I'm probably playing a split here. If I'm making this deck, I think I'm going to make a split between them, because I like the first attack. I love being able to do 50 for a single energy turn 1, but the second attack looks too expensive. And for anyone out there that's going, well hang on a second, Wassy. Didn't you say that you didn't want to use one of your 4 Rapid Strike energy to do 40 turn 1, but you're more than happy to use one of your Single Strike energy to do 50 turn 1? What's the deal? The deal is Pot of Vitality that allows you to recover Single Strike energy. There we go. I don't really want to score these, because honestly, I think the VMAXs are the better versions of these Pokemon anyway. And this was really more of a comparison to the existing ones. So, score them how you will. I think this is one of those videos I need to not. But I would be very excited to know what you would score these and what you think about them. So, let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would you? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.